Good evening and hello. I'm Gordon Kessler. I attend Chino High School as a junior, and I have a younger sister next to me who will be a freshman next year. I'm one of 4 drum majors in the Chino High School band, the 77th Cavalry. I and these 3 other students are responsible for keeping the band organized, ready, and informed, along with other duties. In fact, I have to leave this meeting early so I can be on time for our jazz band practice tonight. This most recent fall, our field show performance got us to championships, which we won the gold medal at, including last year. All this was done through our own funding, which we pay for at the start of the year, $1,000 per student. This cost covers food, shirts, uniforms, busing, paying instructors, and much more. This most recent year, we've started to have financial troubles. From the way things look, we might not have a competitive season next year. What have you as a school board done to support us? We get $10,000 at the start of the year for buses, which covers about the first 3 competitions. All the other 10 or more are funded by our own money, which is running short. What's your budget for other extracurricular activities busing? Unlimited. There is no budget. When we tried to go with the cheerleaders on a bus to the CIF game for the pep band, the bus driver stopped us and would not let us in for at least 10 minutes. We said we were the pep band going with the cheerleaders because they don't have to pay for busing. Why are you supporting all other physical activities except marching band? Mr. Cruz, you mentioned earlier about investing in our students. Why not invest in music? We may not have competitions next year. I want my sister here to be able to experience that next year. I want future students to experience how amazing music is. Music is where words and notes come to life, where you learn to make beauty around you. Music elevates the brain and makes you think. Recent studies have proven that music students receive an average of 98 points higher on SAT scores. Additionally, college music students have fewer problems with alcohol, are emotionally healthier, and concentrate better than their non-musical counterparts. I urge you to support music. Thank you.
Thank you.
Adrian Chase.
Good evening, President Shaw, Board, Dr. Enfield, Cabinet. I am Adrian Chase, the very proud principal at Glenmead Elementary School. As many of you know, my 6th graders attended science camp at Thousand Pines Science School last week in Crestline, and our adventure was a little different from what we had originally planned. We loaded up the buses and headed up for camp under a clear, sunny sky on Tuesday morning, prepared for some snow. Our students woke up to snow on Wednesday and were excited at the opportunities it brought. However, the forecast seemed to be changing, so we made the decision to try and bring the students home on Thursday. But after hours at the bottom of the mountain, our drivers were turned away. On Friday morning, the drivers were back at the base of the mountain waiting for clearance from Caltrans and CHP. I met with my parents on Zoom Friday at 11:30 a.m. to discuss everything. While the plan was to bring them home by Friday evening, if possible, I also let them know that their students might be there until Sunday, since the forecast on Saturday was heavy snow all day. However, we remained in contact with Caltrans and CHP, so we were ready to bring them home if it became safe. That afternoon, the buses were permitted passage up the mountain, but not able to get all the way to the camp. Through the efforts of the camp staff and our transportation director in communication with Caltrans and CHP, a plan was developed to caravan our students and staff safely to the buses and home to their families. Throughout this process, I was able to communicate with teachers, transportation, district administration, a board member, and our families. All students and teachers were safely home by 7 p.m. on Friday. As you may have seen, hundreds of students from other districts were snowed in and did not arrive home until Monday evening. We are hoping that the camp will be accessible early next week so CVUSD drivers and our 6th grade teachers can bring back all luggage, belonging, and vehicles. However, Crestline is now under a state of emergency, and the community my parents resided in for a while is experiencing the most devastation they've seen in history. Please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Tonight I am here to thank the individuals who made all of this possible. I knew our students were safe in their hands, and I am so proud to have them as part of our Glenmead community. First, our 6th grade camp families for their communication, flexibility, support, and understanding throughout this process. Dr. Enfield, Mrs. Fellows, Mr. Hackney, Mr. Monroe, and everyone in the district who reached out to me to support us and our plan to bring everyone home. My office staff, Kylene Valles, Cindy Davis, Alexandra Lazama, and Francis Ramos, for helping me field the many phone calls from families that were coming in all day Friday. Mrs. DeVoe for ensuring Thursday and Friday ran smoothly on campus while I was working on bringing our sixth graders home, and Miss Baker for coming back on Friday evening to assist me with the arrival of our students. Bill Carey, our Director of Transportation, for his magnificent efforts and dedication to the safety of our students. He communicated with me, district staff, Nathan Godwin from the camp, CHP, Caltrans, and our drivers to ensure everyone came home safely. Fee Gonzalez and Jose Castro, the CVUSD bus drivers who started their journey early on Friday morning and brought our students home Friday night. They are both heroes in my book. My Roadrunners for their bravery through all of this. Homesickness is a natural part of camp, even in the best weather. So that was to be expected. However, despite the snow, they participated in activities, listened to camp staff, positively interacted with their teachers and peers, and made the most of an unexpected adventure. And finally, Mrs. Layla Cormack and Mrs. Sarah Wyke, my fantastic sixth grade teachers. They cared for our students as if they were their own, making sure that they were safe and having fun, despite not being the exact experience they thought they would have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Malia Kessler, followed by Arminda Gonzalez, followed by Michael Gonzalez.
Hi, I'm Malia Kessler. I have kids at Rhodes, Magnolia, and Chino High. I volunteered at all three schools for many years, including the last 4 years as Magnolia Music Boosters treasurer. I'm here today, like my son, to bring your attention to an under-supported group of students in our district, which is the music students. Chino Valley loves its sports, and the school district supports them well, as they should. Participating in sports and music groups builds character traits such as teamwork, discipline, and hard work. And they give students a sense of belonging, which improves mental health. But music students get the added benefit of improvements in brain connection and test scores. Music connects both halves of the brain. The American Psychological Association published a study showing that, quote, high schoolers who take music courses score significantly better on exams in math and science than their non-musical peers, end of quote. These kids are literally getting smarter. Marching band students have to pass sports physicals just like all the athletes. The band supports all the other sports, but is not supported by our district the same way as the other sports. Pep band plays at football games, basketball games, pep rallies, parades, cheering on the other students. Chino's band even saved the day at the CIF District Championship girls basketball game last week when they played the national anthem in a pinch. They all had it memorized, were ready to go, and represented their school and district extremely well, and this was after almost being denied a bus ride. So why is it that you are barely funding them with school district money? Why is it that you don't provide a dedicated school district employee for music education? Why is it that pretty much the only free bus rides they get is to go play for another sport, even though the Chino High School Marching Band has won more awards and championships than virtually any sport in this district? Not only did they make it to the equivalent of the state tournament last November, they scored higher than any other band in the state of California. For the past few decades, the parents have been funding the marching bands and color guards, not the school district. The parents pay for almost all the bus fares for marching band competitions and spring concert festivals. The parents pay for all assistant coaches. The parents pay for guard uniforms and props. Can you imagine the outcry you would get from basketball or football teams if you asked their parents to pay for all of their away game buses and assistant coaches? Music programs in the district are in severe financial crisis and they need more support. Please reevaluate your support of music in our schools and the marching band and color guard in particular. Our kids need your advocacy. Thank you.
Thank you. Arminda Gonzalez, followed by Michael Gonzalez, followed by Kelsey Robertson.
Good evening, board members. My name is Arminda Gonzalez. I'm a parent of two, one senior attending Chino High School and another graduated in 2021. I'm a part of the ILAC with Ms. Carol Swift, PTAF, School Site Council, PK, CAVE, and PFLN, and CEI, with Ms. Ibis Cordero representing our district along with 20 plus other districts. I'm a part of the 6 recipients for the Chino Unified District that have been selected to receive one award at the annual multilingual recognition on April 28. Music has inspired my kids since 5th grade. My oldest child was bullied From 4th grade to 8th grade, he's scarred for life, stolen his self-esteem. Band was his shelter, place to be with friends, and be saved. Music makes students grow mentally, teach them discipline, leadership, and make them shine. And this program, kids with mental health, low self-esteem, disabilities, language barrier, find a family, and they all look for each other. When they perform or compete, they all feel validated and their life change. Please keep funding music arts for those students cannot feel like belong in sports or clubs, but found home in music. Some kids are always on the top 10 with a high GPA. I'm a band parent that helps full-time in the school in anything and everything, especially when it comes to fundraise for our band. But unfortunately, we always struggle financially. If you can help us pay for buses and other things for our field trips, will be helpful tremendously. Suicide is the second highest rate in death. Mental illness is highest in our youth. Therapists recommend breathing exercises, physical exercises, stretch exercises, cardiovascular exercises, and being in contact and socialize with others. Most of all, music is therapy. All this is including band. Please do not let financial struggles disappear this program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Gonzalez, followed by Kelsey Robertson, followed by Darlene Berg.
Good evening. My name is Michael Gonzalez. I'm the president of the Chino Music Boosters, and I'm basically here to follow up a little bit on a previous appearance I had before the board, and also to make Ms. Shaw and Mr. Monroe aware of a situation that happened in 2021. When the new school was built, the Chino Band Boosters in the year 2000 built a steel building, and Mr. Stratura knows all about that. We corresponded with it. So basically, I'm here just to follow up, basically, on that previous meeting. We had a steel building that the district approved. Our organization paid for 50% of that building and all of the labor in 2000. And when the new school was built, we were told that that building had to be dismantled, but we would be giving something equivalent to that building. And I know that the school at Chino High is getting close to being done, and I know that there's plans to refurbish the old girls' locker room. But the problem we have at hand right now is the fact that we don't have anywhere to put our trailers. We had been putting our trailers, parking them in the district a lot for the past 4 years, and that was done begrudgingly, and we were given a code. And then earlier this year, we were told that they would no longer would be able to put our trailers there, and the district was actually moved the trailers into the Chino facility and parked them at the school and left them there. And in the process, I have pictures, they damaged our trailers. So again, we don't have money to fix things like this, and we had to come up with money to fix the trailers. We had to find someone who could dedicate or donate their time to fix them as well. So they got fixed. But on top of that, our semi-trailer, which has been stored at an off-site facility in Ontario, but again, somebody allowing us to park our trailer for free, that facility was sold, and now we have no place to put our semi-trailer. So right now, it's sitting in Orange County at XPO Logistics. They were nice enough to store our trailer behind a secure area for the past several weeks, but now we don't have anywhere to put that. So right now our two smaller trailers are on the school, unprotected, out in the elements, and we had a steel facility to park our trailers in the past, and it was taken away from us. So, I'm here again to remind the board that we were promised, a secure, covered facility, and I'd like to know basically what the board's plan is for that, because again, we don't have the money to fix it. We don't have money to fix it when things break down, and I really wanted to follow up with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelsey Robertson, followed by Darlene Berg, followed by Samuel Love.
Hi, I wanted to share two definitions I feel are really important for this board to learn and hopefully abide by given what I've heard in past meetings. First, definition of hate speech: abusive or threatening speech or writing that expresses prejudice on the basis of ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, or similar grounds. The difference between hate speech and free speech: we are free to express ourselves even to the extent that our opinion may offend, shock, or disturb others, but not everything is acceptable as free speech. The moment people start publicly inciting to violence, hostility, or discrimination against a group of persons, then this is hate speech. I'm going to say that louder for the people in the back. The moment people start publicly discriminating against a group of people, then this is hate speech, not free speech. Many meetings I've been to, there's been some kind of vocal discrimination against the children in this district. I've also been here when numerous students have brought to your attention the hostility and heckling from people in this very room at these very meetings. Hostility by grown adults towards children in this school district. Because I only have 3 minutes, I can't share all the things some current board members have said to this room that have been hostile and completely discriminatory, but there's plenty of YouTube videos of this, including multiple times where the current president refers to LGBTQ plus students and their path in this district as disgusting and this grossness. I am so sick of seeing adults in powerful positions blatantly pass off hate speech as a concern or an opinion, when it's none of that. It's discrimination. You continue to discriminate against a very specific group of students, and that's disgusting. If school board members cannot make a commitment to create safe spaces for all of our students, why are you here? To create more divide, more discrimination, to leave more kids behind? Having adults that react from such a place of closed-mindedness and who refuse to learn the real statistics around our youth will continue to put our children in danger. Attempting to literally shut out an entire group of children at school as school board members is absolute hypocrisy. You are telling these kids they're not worth it. As a mom of 6 kids and as a daughter of gay parents, I have been fighting anti-LGBTQ plus groups for 25 years, and the one thing I can guarantee, you are on the wrong side of history. In another 25 years, when people play back your YouTube videos, your anti-LGBTQ rhetoric and comments, I hope you remember this moment in time when I promised you you're on the wrong side of history. We will absolutely continue to hold you accountable because our kids deserve it. If you're a student or parent or anyone listening that has been belittled, felt targeted by this group, felt absolutely heartbroken hearing such hateful adults speak in this room, I hope you can hear this. You are important. You are so worth it. You are brave. You deserve to be here. And there are even more adults that want to keep you safe and create paths for you through this school that will help you grow and learn in the most beautiful way. We have your back. We will always have your back. Keep living your life just the way you are. Thank you.
Darlene Berg, followed by Samuel Love, followed by Sandra Sue Bright.
Good evening. I second what Kelsey said. But I'm up here tonight to talk about some comments that a woman named Misty made on February 2nd at the meeting about being so bothered and bombarded in society and in the schools by LGBTQ plus rights versus children with disabilities. I'm not very familiar with how the special education program runs in Chino Valley, but I do have friends with children in this district and others that are involved in the special education program and have aides in the classroom. I also work with people of all ages who have disabilities of varying degrees, ranging from traumatic brain injury, congenital disabilities, to those they've acquired later in life. I would never pretend to know what it is like to have a child with any type of disability, nor would I ever try to tear down a community of people. I absolutely agree with Misty that children with disabilities need to feel represented, their families need to feel represented and supported. I absolutely disagree with Misty that tearing down children who are a part of the LGBTQ plus community is a way to get what she wants for children with disabilities. What I hope that everyone can understand is that our school board members took an oath to represent and support all children in this school district equally. This includes children with disabilities, children who are part of the LGBTQ plus community, children who are Black, white, Asian, Indian, Christian, Jewish, Mormon, Muslim, music students, you name it, all children. I'm here as a mom, biologically connected and otherwise, and as a person who cares about life and the bettering of it in all ways. I stand in support of equality for all children, and may they feel supported in this district always by parents, teachers, staff, and of course, you guys, the school board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Samuel Love, followed by Sandra Dubright, followed by Richard Wales.
Good evening, Superintendent and board members. Thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts. This is a follow-up to the comments I presented to the board in September 2021. The LA Unified School District Secondary History Social Science branch states the following, quote, "Ethnic studies courses operates from the consideration that race and racism have been and continue to be profoundly powerful social and cultural forces in American society," end quote. This objective truth remains a contentious talking point. Since the approval of the Ethnic Studies model curriculum and all its reiterations, it has been met with ongoing opposition. The factual narrative of our country's historical race relations continues to be taboo. This issue has been politicized and weaponized. Efforts to implement the model curriculum have been met with extremist actions such as intimidation, censorship, and whitewashing historical facts. These visceral responses are contrary to the principles of democracy and reinforce the self-serving and destructive ideology. Often, people excuse selfishness, greed, and bias by claiming their rights. Moreover, it's difficult to comprehend the callousness that motivates the opposition to oppose historical truth under the guise of protecting white children while sacrificing the minds and spirit of children of color without compunction. Attitudes don't just happen, we choose them. History is replete with examples of people doing self-serving and destructive deeds in the name of good. A recent Yale University study concluded that many Americans have had a hard time recognizing the magnitude and persistence of racial inequality because, psychologically, they resist these truths. Psychologists refer to this kind of broad bias as motivated cognition. That is, most Americans want to live in a society that is more racially equal, and so they engage in mental actions that ignore, discount, or downplay contradictory evidence to maintain coherence between belief and reality. Efforts to ban the teaching of America's violent and unjust racial history in public schools are a form of motivated cognition. The longer American history remains unreconciled, the longer and more complicated our struggle to realize a true democracy. Black history is American history.
Thank you.
Sandra Sue Bright, followed by Richard Wales, followed by Chloe Wong.
Good evening, President Shaw, board members, staff, parents, and audience. I am Sandra Bright, president of the Serophmas of the Chino Valley Incorporated, and my partner back there is Charlene King, founder of Stepping Up for Girls. We want to take this opportunity to invite all of you to attend our Stepping Up program on March 11th at Chino High School, starting at 8 o'clock and ending at 2 o'clock. This program is designed to help sixth grade girls have a confident transition from elementary school into junior high school. The day will be filled with all kinds of activities, including speakers discussing where to go to get help with homework, the importance of staying in school, a fashion show with students showing examples of appropriate ways to dress for school, games, and a chance to win all kinds of prizes. We encourage parents to attend with their girls, and we hope to see the board there also. Are there any questions?
Okay, I'm sorry we can't take questions right now, but if you're here after the meeting, we can reach out to you.
All right, yes, you may.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me see.
Thank you.
Richard Wales, followed by Chloe Wong.
Good evening. I'd like to talk about boundaries, due diligence, common sense, and just being careful what you do. I don't think a lot of people think about this, but this is a government agency. This is not public, it's not private. And I think the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce needs to realize that they are not a government entity. So I went on to Instagram this morning, and most of you have probably not seen it. Hopefully everybody sitting in front of me has seen the video. But it seems that the chamber has near carte blanche to come into our schools. And they posted a video this morning from Black History Month about an entrepreneurial meeting, and there was a performance, and there was also music that was placed on top of the video. It was originally posted in TikTok, then the chamber posted it in their own Instagram page. Now, if I was a black man, I would be furious at the word that I heard repeated 4, 5, 6 times. We have black security and officers in the next room. We have black students. I have a black neighbor. I grew up with a certain word, and I shouldn't have to tell you what that word is in reference to slamming black people, that you did not dare use. So why am I hearing this first thing in the morning? It's on 2 different social media platforms. So, why didn't the chamber take the time, the due diligence, to look at the lyrics that they chose for their video? Mr. Bridge, you are the liaison to this group. So I would request that you have a discussion with them and have them act a little more responsibly, because they created a video clip that shows badly on our district, that is disrespectful and offensive to too many people, and there's no excuse for it. Now, it was taken off, but that's not doing the right thing. Doing the right thing would have been not putting that kind of trash music with vulgarities and racial slurs on it in the beginning. Period. Thanks.
Thank you.
Chloe Wong.
Honorable members of the school board, members of the school district, Superintendent Dr. Norm Emfeld, fellow parents and students, good evening. My name is Chloe Wong. I am a parent of 3 girls who are currently enrolled at Magnolia Junior High and Edwin Rhodes Elementary School, respectively. I am here today to express my appreciation and support of the band program at our schools. I think it is an amazing program which teaches our students to play music and to play with others. The latter provides a great opportunity for them to develop friendships and leadership skills while instilling the values of hard work, perseverance, and respect for authority. I am also here to seek the school district's decision to provide more funding for this program due to a few reasons, all of which are based on my observations at Magnolia Junior High School. Although the facilities at Magnolia Junior High School may seem adequate, I believe there is a need for more room for students to practice and store music instruments. When they are unable to practice at the common space they call the MPR, they would practice at the band room, and the band room is so cramped that students could barely move around without knocking something or someone. The need for more space seems logical, and not just for more space. Let's also consider a beautiful space wherein students are inspired to engage in music, and a space that fosters camaraderie among band members. Also, additional funding would allow the band program to offer more instruments, so more students get the privilege to this musical journey, and they can have access to different instruments as well. Lastly, additional funding would ease the burden of out-of-pocket costs, as my friends have mentioned earlier. Every year, parents are asked to donate money to keep the band program going. This expectation always posed as a financial burden to families. Thankfully, band boosters make tremendous efforts year after year to help cover some of these expenses. But I think these efforts can get very tiring after a while. And if the boosters are not successful in raising enough funds, what then happens to the band program? What if parents cannot pay the pledges? What happens then? With additional funding, it would help students to participate and enjoy the band program without worrying too much about additional costs. I believe that the socioeconomic background of a student should not be a barrier to joining our band program and should not be a burden to the parent boosters. Additional funding to cover band annual variable expenses would be a tremendous help in maximizing the benefits of the program and making sure that every student who wants to be part of it has access to it. Once again, thank you for this opportunity. I look forward to seeing a response that have been mentioned tonight. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.
Sharon Duran.
Good evening. Oh, there you go. Good evening, Board and Superintendent. I just wanted to mention something about the band boosters. I know it's hard. My student was in band in Magnolia. I know a while back when Irene was here, she mentioned something about getting like a committee together for applying for performing arts grants, because they're out there. Money is out there for these things. And that's something that I had discussed a long time ago with Carol Sweat and Irene, and I wanted to be part of it, but nothing came of it. So that's just a suggestion that there is monies out there, but you need to either get like a part-time writer or someone that can do the applications, because I know it might be a little bit tedious. And then maybe like a committee that has parents from all the bands, all the high schools. So I'm just throwing that out there because I know that's been thrown out there a few years back, pre-COVID. So maybe that's something to look into for the band parents here. Also, I wanted to comment regarding our LGBTQ youth. I know for a fact that a lot of the youth don't feel safe, don't feel, comfortable going to someone if something happens. Specifically, there was an incident where my student, who's gay, had throw up. Like a student picked up throw up that they found in the boys' locker room and threw it at my son and called him a fag. That's a straight hate crime. And Mr. Monroe, you know this from your background in law enforcement, that's a hate crime. And he did not feel comfortable telling anyone. And he didn't even tell me until like almost 2 weeks later when it actually happened. He came in the car smelling like throw up. I'm like, what happened? He's like, oh, just it's fine. Someone threw up next to me, this and that. Because he knew what I would do if I knew the truth. So he waited 2 weeks till school was out to tell me what happened. And this just goes back to the fact that we have board members that are supported by religious leaders who spread hate for LGBTQ in the community. They are the ones that are most likely to be at risk of these hate crimes, and you guys are just pushing it further and further away. I really hope you guys will never have to go through this. Have a student that's been targeted like that. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our speakers. We're now on to item changes and deletions.